What's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. We're here breaking down another XFL team preview. Again, not officially ranking the teams yet. Have to look at the schedules, but just kind of going team by team, going through the roster, seeing what I think. Be sure to subscribe to this video so you can see the rest. Subscribe to the channel so you can see the rest of my videos about the teams. Before we get into this, I'm going to be using a roster from a Twitter channel called at XFL Analyst. So I did not make the roster I'm about to show you. Recommend giving them a follow on Twitter. I'll link that down below. It's been super helpful to have as a resource. They're always updating the roster, which unlike the XFL, and they're always just tweeting out great signings and guys getting cut and everything like that. So be sure to give them a follow, and thanks again to them for helping me make this video because the XFL rosters on the official website are awful. So let's get into the Orlando Guardians. They are led by their head coach, Terrell Buckley. Buckley has, you can see here, he played a little bit. He played professional baseball at one point a little bit. He was a first round pick in the NFL. Super Bowl champ, Pro Bowl winner, great corner at Florida State. Finished seventh in the Heisman, played great college baseball too. So crazy good athlete. As a coach, you can see he's had a lot of assistant coaching experience, no head coaching experience. Last coach for Ole Miss in 2021. I'm skeptical. I don't know anything about him personally, quite frankly. He's an accomplished player in his career, which I think helps. I think especially in developmental league, that's important. I'm not sure if that always translates to winning games. But it translates to developing talent, helping guys get to the point where a lot of these guys want to go, quite frankly. So I don't have a ton of information about him, but I wish him luck. I don't think he's the best. From what I know, I don't think he's the best coaching hire. I don't think he's the worst coaching hire, but we'll see. They are a confusing team, the Orlando Guardians. So they signed Paxton Lynch, who was a first-round pick by the Broncos in 2016, completely did nothing in the NFL. Played for the last year in the USFL for the Michigan Panthers. I think was eventually benched by them. He did not impress me. D'Andre Francois hasn't played in a couple years, has some off the field issues. No one. I think Paxton Lynch, from what I've heard, is going to get the job. Is what it seems like. I don't think he's very good. I think it's a pretty boring hire signing, to be honest. Nothing. I don't know him personally. This isn't a personal attack, but I don't think he's very mobile. I think he's a good arm, but he's not accurate. He's not very mobile. I think that we kind of know what this guy is. There's nothing. It's not. He just isn't a pro quarterback. Quite frankly, who can play at the highest level. And struggled to play in the spring league, or not spring league. Excuse me, the USFL last year. So I'm struggling to see how he's going to succeed in this league, but I could be wrong. Kelvin Taylor, guy with some NFL experience, Corey Latimer, Eli Rogers. Charleston Rambo seems to be the guy that a lot of people like around this team. Young guy from Oklahoma was, I believe, second on the team in receptions with CD Lamb. So put up some good numbers there. It seems like a solid pickup for Oklahoma. Dontez Bird, another Seattle Sea Dragon, former now a Seattle Dragons player in 2020. Had a few catches in that first year, I remember. Ryan Becker, guy only had, I think, 16 catches in college, so that's an interesting pickup to me. Not a ton of experience, but this is the league to do it. I understand why these guys are here. They're here to get that playing time that maybe they haven't gotten. Maybe he's a late bloomer, but so nothing. None of the wideout talent overwhelms me. The running back talent, Kelvin Taylor's. The fun fact about Kelvin Taylor is that he's Fred Taylor's son. So any Fred Taylor fans from like the 90s to 2000s, that's fun. Also a Florida guy, or excuse me, Fred Taylor was in Jacksonville, so that's a nice connection, I think. I think that's smart to draw fans in. Offensive line wise, pretty big up front. Some decent experience, not a ton of pro experience, which makes me a little nervous. Especially some of these older guys. I would like to see at least more practice squad stints, but they don't really have it. I know the roster are too big, so they're not all going to most of these guys aren't going to make the team. But I just wish there's a couple more guys who like had that experience, and they just don't have it, unfortunately. But again, that's what this league is for. It's for guys getting development. But I don't think, again, I'm not an offensive line guru. I've got coaching friends who are better at evaluating that talent, but I don't see anything that wows me with their offensive line play, which makes me nervous with a quarterback who isn't mobile. And with DeAndre Francois, who's a little too mobile, I could see him just booking it out of the pocket, not letting plays develop. I see that as a potential recipe for disaster, kind of no matter who they have at quarterback. Maybe the line steps up, maybe the quarterbacks play better. That's just my opinion right now. Um, Defensively, not a ton of overwhelming talent. We got Stanley Maponga, Stanley, excuse me, former Seattle Dragon. Um, I don't remember him playing much in the XFL, to be honest, and I watched pretty much every Seattle Dragons game. Again, no real names that really pop off the page, and their biggest profile name on defense is 31 years old. So that makes me a little nervous. Linebacker and corner wise, no one particularly impressive. Kicking wise, Jose Borregales, I don't think he's kicked in the NFL. Johnny Townsend, his brother, I believe, is the punter for the Chiefs, or at least was. I think he still is. Johnny Townsend was drafted in the 5th round by the Raiders, which is crazy. I feel like they're all like these teams that draft kickers probably should have realized that's not a great idea. And he obviously has struggled a little bit in the NFL, but was a great college punter. I think it's definitely a good thing. Again, I expect this offense to struggle. I don't see a ton of defensive talent. Not they're not terrible defensively. Just I don't see like the huge upside, but they could be a solid defense. But I think with a solid defense and a good special teams game, that can help you win at the margins when your offense isn't quite clicking. It can help keep games lower scoring, which I think this team is going to need. So that's my review of the Orlando Guardians. I don't know. I don't see a ton of upside of this team, quite frankly. I think, again, not knowing what the rest of the league is going to look like, and some of these guys I don't know as well. My guess is they're topping out at about, if everything goes right, maybe if everything goes perfectly, 6, maybe 5 or 4, more like the 3 to 5, maybe 2 to 4 wins. I'll put them at 3.5 wins is where I'd put the line. I don't see great quarterback play. They have a rookie, a guy who's never been a head coach, hasn't really coached the NFL even. So he's been has NFL experience as a player, but not as a coach, which makes me a little nervous. We've DeAndre Francois has had a lot of we know he's had some off the field issues that I don't really know the details of, and quite frankly, don't really think this is a great place for. But there's clearly something going on because he wasn't a crazy talented athlete, and you would think that he could stick somewhere in the NFL for at least a little bit, and he hasn't. Again, maybe this is a chance for him to kind of figure some of that stuff out. Paxton Lynch hasn't shown that to me. They don't have great skill players. Their defense is pretty solid, but I don't think you can win without a great offense, and I don't think they have the experience. But maybe they can get some guys developed. Maybe there's some guys who come from this team that we don't see coming, and then we see them in the NFL roster and stuff like that, which is what the league is really all about. It's about giving fans what they want with football, but also helping these young men take a step in their career and keep living out the dream. So that's my review of the Guardians. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell button. Let me know in the comments what you think about the Orlando Guardians. I think I haven't done the rest of the reviews. I think they're going to be towards the bottom of the league to me, but maybe that's what makes these leagues fun. You never the team you expect to be on top isn't usually who's ends up on top. So, thanks for watching again, guys, and see you soon.